In this video, we're going to go over creating a table in a MySQL database. So in the previous video, we created this example database. And now we're going to come underneath to where it says tables underneath that database and just hit create table. That's going to open up the create table window here in the MySQL workbench. The first thing we're going to do is give this table a name. So for the name, we'll do people. It's in the example schema. We'll do the default char set and collation as we did with the database, and we'll leave the DB engine the same. Now, what is important about this table are the columns. So what are we actually storing about these people? So it's best practice to start with a primary key on every table. And that primary key is a unique identifier on each record. So this ID is going to be not null, it's going to be a primary key, and we're actually going to auto increment that ID. So every single time a new record is inserted, it just increments the integer to the next possible available value. Okay, so now we actually are going to put in our columns for storing data about each person. So we'll start with first name, we'll make that a varchar 255 and not null, which means that field is required for each record. We'll do the same thing with last name, varchar 255, and we'll make that not null as well. And then we'll do one more column about each person that we'll just say their email as a varchar 255 as well, but this time we'll leave it and leave this box unchecked, which means it can be null, which means that value can be empty when a record is inserted. So we'll go ahead and click apply, and this obviously is going to generate our create table statement that could be run from the command line, but instead we're just using the workbench interface to do so. We'll hit apply, and now we can see that the people table exists as a table in our database. So if we come back, there's just a couple things to review and some helpful commands for creating tables. So this is the actual create table statement. As you can see, each column is listed out with the data type, if it's null or not, and then if there's anything special about it, like the ID has an auto increment, and then this is where the primary key for that ID is identified in that create table statement. And then the last thing is just the select statement. So the select is used to pull specific data from a data set. So in this case, this basically means all fields. So you can read this as give me all of the fields from the people table. And if we go ahead and run that, it shows us that ID, first name, last name, and email are columns in that table. However, we can't see any records in there. And we'll go through that in the next video. If you need either of these statements here, the create table or select, there in the description below. If you have any questions, please comment. And if you found this video helpful, please like the video. Thanks.